gentlemen, welcome to the first installment of the Master Channel. DJ Widebody and CX the producer bring to you, where we talk about the ins and outs of the hip-hop culture, both technical, creativity-wise, and everything else that applies. Our first guest ever on the Master Channel. This guy hails from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He's now a native of the DMV. He is a videographer, entrepreneur, founder of Dirty Av Clothing, ediggin.com, Digital Hustle Films, fashion designer, grinder, bartender. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to Anthony Gadget Mims, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony Gadget Mims.
Yo, that was a hell of an introduction.
What's happening?
Bartender?
Wow.
After-apple smoothies, man.
Okay, yeah. You know, I'm Isaac from Love Boat when it comes to smoothies.
Wow.
What's happening? What's going on, CX?
How y'all doing today?
Man, maintaining, brother, man. We've been talking about this for a while, and here we are, man. Here we are, the Master Channel, man. We couldn't wait to bring this to y'all, man. So I think we're gonna cover a lot of stuff, man. Technical. We're gonna talk about the history, the present, past, future, about the hip hop culture and where it's going, where's it been. You know, different people. We're gonna ask a lot of people a lot of questions. We're gonna sit back, relax. We're just gonna shoot the shit. So
yeah, I mean, for real, this is gonna be like a casual conversation. Nothing crazy, nothing like that. I mean, we're going to give you tips and pointers on how to, do your music, whether you're in video or just in the business in general, in the hip hop culture. We're here to help you.
Right.
And do it in a way that you can understand.
Right. Well, before we talk to Gadget, he's probably one of the main reasons that I'm sitting here right now doing this whole thing. Just give you a little backstory. I used to DJ back in the day. I made beats around the way for a few years, and I kind of stopped around 2009, and I started watching YouTube, and Digital Hustle Films was on, and I really just got into that, man. I'm sitting, waiting for these videos and notifications to post, and I went to Guitar Center in 2013, got me a machine, and started, making beats and producing again. So that whole this culture, man, he basically, to me, he's been basically contributing to the culture, man, in a big way. And I don't think that I'll probably be here doing this right now, talking with y'all indirectly. So
yeah, that's true. I mean, he brought me to the masses. I mean, I was always, just to myself. He did the first interview. That first interview let everybody know who I was. So I would laugh at him. I mean, outside of that, I laugh to him as a person as well.
No doubt.
He's been a good dude always, man.
Good dude.
Always. I give left arm for him.
For real.
Definitely.
No doubt.
Definitely. But enough of the goddamn platitudes, man. Let's get down to business, man.
What's up, Gadget?
What's up, man?
Hey.
Oh, yeah. No pressure.
No problem. Hey, so I always wanted to know, man. Tell me about how you got around to, doing the scratch mag, the scratching the surface, the behind the beats. At the time, did you think that it would be as successful as it is today?
Not at all. I originally just started wanting to document it because I was really into documentaries.
Okay.
Especially music documentaries, and there was nothing on, like, every documentary you saw about music, there was nobody from DC in the documentary. Like, you might find some go-go documentaries, but that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing on beat making or producers or boom bap in the DC area. Like, you had Smack, all them dudes, Smack DVD,
yeah.
All those was New York cats. Like, I wanted to do something like that for DC. But the DVD media was going out the way.
Right.
So I decided to just go the YouTube route.
That's dope. truth be told, you actually brought the DC boom bap scene to me, because when I thought of DC, I thought of go-go, man. I mean, that's all, you know. I didn't realize what a big community, what a big boom bap community you guys have, man. I've never seen anything else like it up to today, bro. So.
And that's understandable. Honestly, go-go should be at the forefront because that's what started here.
Right.
So I mean, I don't knock anybody for. I just had this conversation yesterday with an artist. When people say, "Oh, you're from DC, do you like go-go?" Like, you can't get mad because it's where it started.
No doubt.
The inception was here. So shout out to all the go-go bands, from Rare Essence to Backyard to Reds and the Boys,
Northeast Groovers, Petworth, all of them. I mean,
shout out to them. And shout out to whoever put the sound pack called Go-Go Loops Volume 1 through 3.
Wow.
Go-Go Loops.
Them joints.
Shout out to Lil Benny.
Yeah, Lil Benny.
And check that out.
Yeah.
CX? You got anything, CX?
Yeah. Let me ask this. A lot of people always can't really distinguish between Scratch Magazine, the actual publication that used to be in publication, between Scratch Magazine TV. Can you give them the backstory on that so we can clear the air on that?
Yeah. It's funny. As you know, there are no production magazines out right now. Like, there's no Scratch magazine, there's no Elemental, there's no Blaze. Like for us, like the underground group. So I wanted to do something like that, and I was like, I wonder if we can bring Scratch magazine back. So I did some research, and I forgot Elliot Wilson used to be the managing editor at Scratch magazine. So I hit him up on Twitter. I was like, yo, bro, why don't you restart Scratch magazine? I didn't get an answer. So, like, the type of guy I am, like, if you don't give me an implicit no, then that means a yes to me.
Right. Hear that.
So, I went and looked up the domain. Scratch magazine now is like a sewing magazine.
Wow.
So, like, if you go to scratch.com or Scratch magazine, it'll just be like a sewing and crochet magazine. I don't know what the word scratch means in sewing, but it must be something.
Right.
Wow.
So I was like, let me just do Scratch magazine TV. I scanned the one of the covers and jacked the logo, and when it was off to the races from there.
Wow, that's dope, man. I got one for you. What are your thoughts on this age limit tags placed on our culture? What are your thoughts on that?
It's whack. Honestly, I'm maybe 70-30 with it, because I don't want to hear nobody with no old school flow in 2017. You know what I mean? Like, as far as boom, I could listen to boom bap no matter when it was made.
Right.
But it's just that I don't want to hear you rapping like Melly Mel in 2017.
Right. So that's, we will always, how we say, like, the rockers, man, they dropping albums, touring 60, 70 years old. And I just, we feel our culture is the only one that puts age restrictions on shit, man. And I just wish we get out of that, man, and let it be known.
Right. But I don't see, here's the thing. Those guys are doing, like, they're not putting like new albums out. They're touring. Like, I would go to a Furious 5 show if they were to get back together. Right. I would go to a Trouble Funk show if they were to, tour. but I don't want to hear no new albums with Busy B rapping.
So you don't?
Right.
Okay. So you wouldn't be interested in, say, Busy B dropped an album tomorrow and it was
Not at all.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay.
I mean, that's being. I mean, after Rakim, Nas, Kool G Rap, Jay, whoever the group, Biggie, like you can't go back.
True.
No, you can't go no further than that.
Okay.
I mean, for nostalgia's sake, yes, but not for new music.
So, what would you say to?
It's different. I'm sorry, it's different with R&B.
Okay.
Because a singer's singing can be outdated.
All right.
That is true because a lot of the audience grows with the artist.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
yes.
And a lot of R&B people, most of the time they have deep catalogs, so they could tour up just the catalog alone.
Right, and like and I'm glad you guys brought this up. The Temptations have a new album out where they do current songs. They redid The Weeknd's "Earned It."
Really? Wow.
And did it way better than him.
Wow.
Way. I mean, it's not even close.
Wow.
Wow.
That just goes to show you that real singing is never outdated. Rapping, yes. Rapping, a nigga who was rapping in 1976 won't get played in my car.
but
on a new album.
But on that note, I think it comes from hip hop is a competitive game. I mean, competitive field.
Right.
As opposed to R&B, you don't see the Temptations going against the Spinners. You feel what I'm saying?
Not anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
anymore.
it ain't. So
Pull up.
it tend to made the audience think of that way, and also I think the labels had a lot to do with pushing new artists and the newer generation and this, that, and other. And then we take our competitive spirit and look at, they old. Then that's how we start looking at stuff. When actually, a lot of them still got more fire in them than some of these young cats.
Yeah, and look, R&B had to change. The Temptations are doing new songs. They didn't go back to doing doo-wop.
No.
You know what I mean? So like they updated their sound to match what's going on in the climate today, and they killed it. Like, props to the Temptations.
That's dope. Let me ask you this let me add on to that. Jay-Z, when are we gonna be done with him making albums? As far as when will you stop listening?
I don't think, as long as he keeps making good music, I don't think ever.
Okay.
And like I said, there are exceptions. Like Jay-Z doesn't have a 1988 flow.
Right.
He's not doing the diggity or the
Hawaiian Sophie.
Right.
or the 1 2 3 punchline. 1 2 3 punchline. He's not metaphor. He's not doing that 1 2 3 rhyme scheme or formula, whatever you want to call it, stanza. He's every album he's updated, not updated his flow, but he would probably be the modern rapping Marvin Gaye, because
he's a chameleon.
Right.
He's a chameleon. He's a shapeshifter. He can adapt to whoever he's rapping, especially when he's rapping with somebody else. He can adapt to their flow, and still kill it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you're absolutely right. He's solidified. Plain and simple.
So
absolutely.
If you listen to Marvin Gaye from the '60s, to Sexual Healing, his voice didn't change. His style of singing and R&B changed, but it was updated every time. Right. But it was the same voice. That's like Jay. Jay now sounds like Jay from Reasonable Doubt.
Right.
To me.
Right.
And that's not a knock. That's a shit. That's a plus, because if you fell in love with Reasonable Doubt or the album after that, you gonna get the same thing. I think maybe Yeezus was not Yeezus. What's the album he did with Kanye?
Watch the Throne.
That was a little bit off what I was used to
Right.
with the niggas in Paris but I mean that just goes to show that he's up with the times but his voice and flow has pretty much been intact.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike no shots against Busy B, but when you rhyme with like and I'm running things, big cap, it's 2018, you can't do that no more.
No.
Right.
No. I think Jay-Z's been a trendsetter consistently for a long time. He stopped the whole throwback jersey movement with one song.
Yeah. And I think Fab was trying to bring it back for a minute, with the basketball jerseys.
Right. So
let me ask.
go ahead, bro.
Go ahead.
You got it.
So let me ask you something. I know you're a multi-talented person. You do actually video, music, and everything else under the sun when it's dealing with the culture as well. So let me ask you something. What software are you using for video editing?
I am using a cracked version of Sony Vegas 13. Shout out to the piratebay.org.
Got you. Why Sony Vegas?
It's Windows based, and I haven't learned Adobe photo editing yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I asked that because some people are some of the video editors they're using like you said, they're using Adobe Premiere, After Effects, and all that other stuff. Was it because you got comfortable with Vegas?
I've been using Vegas since 2007.
Okay.
So I'm very comfortable with Vegas.
Yeah, and Vegas also.
Plus you can do music Vegas.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Vegas also uses Final Cut plugins as well, don't it?
You can import other companies' plugins, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know about Final Cut, but I know you can do what is it? The Bullet series. You can create your own LUTs.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Still right. So let me ask you another question about that.
I'm actually gonna buy a copy. I'm actually gonna buy Vegas in a couple weeks here.
Okay.
Just in case the Vegas people will listen to this.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Because when you open Vegas, it connects to the internet and they send you, you can get the upgraded version for $199.
Yeah.
I'm going to take advantage of that and go ahead and pay for the real version.
So, a quick story. Go ahead, bro.
Then let me ask you another question. What software? What kind of camera do you use?
Right now I shoot with the Panasonic G7 and the G85. I shoot with those because of the 4K capability, even though I don't shoot in 4K because 4K is huge. It's a huge file. Like you can shoot, maybe you can fill up a whole 32 gig card with just an hour and a half of footage.
Damn.
Right.
Maybe even less.
Wow.
And I don't have hard drive space for a whole bunch of 4K videos. Like I already have 7 Gmail accounts for Google Drive.
you can grab the $2 a month. They give you 100 gigs.
Yeah. So I got 7 of those.
Damn.
Wow.
Actually 9, but it's like if the customer, like who I'm shooting for, wants 4K, which usually they don't, because 4K doesn't mean shit on YouTube.
Right.
What's 4K mean on YouTube when you're looking at it on the computer on your phone?
Who's playing 4K anyway? Is there any site?
YouTube is actually. That's like you said, if you're playing it on your phone or whatever. But YouTube actually streams 4K, but like he says, it has to be, the resolution has to be taken down automatically taken down when you're watching it on different devices.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Like for 4K on YouTube, like if you were watching YouTube on like a 4K TV, yeah, it makes a difference then. But
yeah,
for 4K on a laptop or a phone, to me, you won't see much difference.
All right.
No, you won't. You won't.
Let me ask something on that. What is one of your pet peeves when people are filming? What are one of your things that just you gotta do you can't do this as when you're filming? As far as having to.
You know what? It's funny. I really don't have pet peeves because I'm such of a guerrilla filmmaker that I do most of my shit on unorthodox. If you watch some of my videos, some of my editing, like I rush stuff a lot, which I gotta stop. But my editing is nowhere near perfect, and honestly, I like it like that. Like I like sometimes being perfect will cause you to be backed up for like weeks trying to get shit perfect. So I'm like, yo, I'm gonna cut it right here, I'm gonna cut it right here, I'm gonna splice it right here, I'm gonna put this together. So I really don't have pet peeves. When it comes to people shooting, when I watch videos on YouTube, I notice I don't look at stuff that I don't like, or I look at the stuff that I can incorporate.
Okay.
Like I love the use of slow motion, especially when somebody does slow motion from 120 frames per second down to 24 for that real slow mo. That was like for example the I'm a Boss video where Meek Mills is on the motorcycle and he's riding fast and then they slow it down. Like that's probably like 90 or 120 frames per second scaled down to like 24.
Right.
I like stuff like that. But to answer your question, I really don't have pet peeves when people shoot videos. Like I like it all because there's no formula to shooting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Got a question here. I've saw a lot of interviews from you. Which are some of your videos that you say was some of your best work?
My best and my favorite interview is the Chad West video. I tell people every time.
Right.
Chad, like you really didn't have to ask Chad West a lot of questions. Nope. He was just
took you on the trip.
Yeah. When he was talking about Swiss Beats was came into the studio funky and like how Beanie Siegel didn't like the beat and this and that. Like
right.
You got the true feeling of the rock days from Chad West.
Yep.
Yeah.
My other favorite interview was probably Kwame.
Right.
I like the Kwame, especially because a lot of people don't know Kev Brown and Howard Knox were with me on that trip.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
To interview Kwame.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, it was like heaven. His crib is like a b-boy museum. He got he got Muppets in these glass cases with retro Jordans on with like original joints.
Wow.
Like he got Kermit the Frog with like the first Jordans ever made. He got like what's the drummer on the Muppets?
I know you talk about.
He got that dude and he got Star Wars memorabilia and Marvel shit everywhere. And like me being a comic fan as well, it was like, yo, I could probably hang with Kwame for months and just not get tired of the stories.
That's dope.
Wow.
That was a good interview, man. Some of my standouts are obviously CX, the producer. Never seen another man chop like that, and you brought that to the masses.
That was a good one.
Yeah. I like anything with Iron, man. I just like you can have a conversation with him for hours. I love the way he also takes you on a journey. Obviously, of course, the Kev Brown ones. Man, there's not the only one I probably would say wouldn't watch again is the Knots one, and this was because
hey, you and me both.
I would say the Knots one, and shout out to Bink, man. But the Bink one, man, Bink seemed a little upset in that one, man.
You know what? I don't mind the Bink one. It's just it was better than Knots though.
Yeah, it was. Bink definitely was better. I mean, Bink actually sit there and played some stuff. You know what I'm saying? He actually talked. Knots was like off in another world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Another one of my favorite interviews was probably Praise.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
Like Praise is incredible, man. And when he, I forgot how did I meet Praise? Oh, I met Praise through Howard Knox. They were at a beat battle.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like another one, man. You can't, like the Howard Knox, the Logic Bomb ones. Those are hilarious.
Oh my god.
Beat tags. And, I mean,
the very first Logic Bomb joint. I wasn't sure how it was going to be receptive. Because I mean he was doing his best worst Dilla impersonation. I mean he really was, because he was trying to do the offbeat drums, and I was like, man, I don't know about this guy.
Right.
Wow.
Yo, tell us how you met Tracy Lee. I always wanted to ask you that.
I met Tracy Lee through my cousin Lynette. My cousin Lynette went to Howard, and she used to work for the Source and Rap Pages.
Oh, okay.
So just from the Howard Association, they have mutual friends. So I went to I think y'all gonna laugh and pause this whole part of the conversation. Oh no. It was. I thought it was a sex toy party, but it wasn't. It was. No, because the girl's house that I met him at used to have sex toy parties. You know, when they bring over like the oils and whatever.
Yeah.
And the tools.
Yeah, it was a house party or something, and I met him there, and we exchanged information. And I was like, yo, why don't we shoot some freestyles? And that's where that relationship started.
Dope. That dude's a lyrical man. I love his. Tracy Lee's the truth, man. Definitely. So we'll get to see him. Definitely. And that's dope. CX, got any? Kind of.
You know me, I'm going the technical side.
Let's do it.
What's your preference? DSLR or mirrorless?
I don't have a preference, because I've shot with the T3i for years, and I mean I still shoot with the Canon.
Right.
Canon.
So I really don't have a preference. The only reason I shoot with the G7 is because of the size.
Right.
It's smaller, but I still shoot with the Canon. Oh, don't get it twisted.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now let me ask you this. Let's run through your wish list.
Nice.
Okay.
Let's run through your wish list. You got $10,000. What's your that's your budget?
That's my budget. What am I buying?
Yeah, what you buying?
I am buying I'm buying the sling system, where you can connect multiple cameras and live stream all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm buying some Mevo devices. What else am I buying? I'm buying the new Sony DSLR camera, mirrorless camera. I think it's the A7 III.
Cost, give me cost.
It's cheap. It's probably like $2,500.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the rest, you know me, I'll probably buy some stocks or you know.
No, it's not for that. We just gave you a credit card. We just gave you a credit card at B&H.
Ooh.
Nice.
Then I'm buying a couple cameras then.
Okay.
I'm buying at least four cameras in the Sling system and a couple Mevos. and maybe 2 drones.
Okay.
Yeah, the DJI Mavic Pro.
Okay. You forgot one thing. You're gonna need something powerful to edit this stuff with.
I'm not buying no MacBook, bro.
No, you ain't gotta buy no MacBook. You can get a powerful computer.
You're right. I agree. I probably should get a more powerful computer, but people keep telling me, "Yo, get a Mac."
No.
No. I can't do Macs. I don't know why.
Okay. I'll say this. A powerful gaming computer would do what you needed to do.
I agree.
Yeah, a powerful gaming computer. So let's take that roundabout powerful one that you ain't have to upgrade in 10 years. Let's say about 1,500. All right, so add that with your budget, with your cameras, with your drones. We probably at 8,000. You probably 8 or 7,000. You still got 3,000 left over.
With the last 3, probably like tripods and like miscellaneous stuff like that.
Right. Some insurance.
Yeah. Look, when you buy a camera, always get the 2-year warranty. It's worth it because people will bump your tripod and your camera will fall and like. Yeah, it's like car insurance. Just get it. Just pay it once and it's good for 2 years.
Now let me ask you something.
After 2 years, your camera's paid for itself if you hustle.
Now let me ask you something. Are you big on lenses, different lenses?
Yes. With the Panasonic, I shoot with the kit lenses, but with the Canon, I shoot with I use the kit lens plus the Tamron 16. I'm not a big lens guy, but I do have other lenses for the Canon, but not for the Panasonic. Because
I know sometimes when you add the adapters, to make other lenses fit, sometimes you lose the autofocus when you do that.
You do. And that's why I really don't use the Canon lenses with the Panasonic because sometimes it crops it too much.
Right.
So you don't get the wide angle that you have with the native lens. So I mean, it depends on what you're doing. If you're shooting like what I'm shooting, you don't need
Yeah, you don't need that much.
Different lenses.
What do you think about the fisheye lens?
Now you talk about a pet peeve. Now, I don't like when people use the fisheye when they really don't have to.
Right.
Like back in the day, like I think did the Far Side do a whole fisheye video? Somebody like that's fine.
Can you explain to the audience what the fisheye lens is?
Sure. Basically, it curves everything so it fits everything into a 360 degree or kind of deal. But it's kind of a weird effect to see on interviews or like it's mostly used for music videos.
Okay.
Right.
But it's not used that much like it used to be in the 90s.
Right.
Thank God.
Let me step in here and ask, how, in your opinion, how do we get back to making music with substance universal and more mainstream?
That's not going to happen because labels are still going to make money. So the labels want to make money the fastest way they can. So that's not going to happen. The only way that's going to happen is if the labels go away. When the labels go away, the radio stations have nothing to get music from other than the artists directly from the streets.
All right. Are you for the independent route, or are you? I'm very for the independent route. I don't knock people on labels because if you hustle right, you can make bread off the label. The label gives you a budget of $500,000. Mm-hmm.
You create your album for less than $100.
Pocket the rest.
But yeah, well. Your video marketing, like your A&R. All those people make salaries off of your budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Those people are paid off of your budget. So, I mean, if you can not micromanage, but hire a team to do most of the marketing, most of the street team stuff, most of the radio promotions,
Right.
you can take out quite a chunk of that out of your budget. Like I saw an interview with was it Tory Lanez, where I guess he went inside a store in Canada and bought like $30,000 worth of Gucci stuff, and he said, the label's paying for it. Like, why would you like? I would bank that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not. I would bank that. Like, if I'm doing a music video, yeah, I wear something fly, but I don't need to buy everybody in the crew Gucci if I'm the only one that's gonna be in the video.
Right.
Nah.
I never understood why these new artists starting to sign these 360 deals. It seems like they're default now, man. It's like, I barely see people making out with these record labels, man. Maybe someone that's been in the game for a while may want to come back, but these guys are just, half of these young kids don't even know what's on their deals, man. And and they're taking advantage of them.
Yeah. But I don't see. As long as the labels are involved, you're still gonna hear the BS on the radio.
Yeah. That's most definitely. I mean, we was on a hangout, and Dixie said something. Dixie Freely, shout out Dixie Freely.
Dixie.
He said something that made a lot of sense. He said, you can really tell how much bullshit the labels are. He said, because if somebody had came out with that song that Bruno Mars and Cardi B had, they would have laughed it off the radio. That's how you know it's bullshit. Being as though that they came out with it, it's good.
Right.
It's hot. You know what I'm saying? and that was a dated style of music that they came out with, but yet the radio mainstream pushed that. Let another artist who ain't as big as them do that, and it would have never got played.
Right. I mean, what are your thoughts? Give me your thoughts on Cardi B, just as a whole. What are your thoughts?
Cardi B is one of those people who finessed her situation at the label. She's a bigger entity than when she got signed. So I think she used the label to her full advantage. I mean, she probably used 150% of the label's resources for her stuff, and I mean, I don't know the details of her contract, but I'm pretty sure she's probably most well off than most of the other artists on the label right now.
Wow. Oh, Cardi.
She was bigger than music.
It's crazy. Yeah.
And it's her personality, not her rapping skills that got her there.
Right.
When she showed up on that Amazon commercial, that Alexa commercial on the Super Bowl, that's when you knew it.
And even before then, because Amazon had to notice her before then, so she had personality even before shooting that Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah.
So shout out to Cardi B. I'm not a big fan of, to me, Cardi B is rhyming like 88.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like her rhyme scheme is from the 80s. But she's doing it over new music.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't a bad thing. I just don't want to see Busy B doing it.
Oh man, it's funny you said Busy B. A friend of mine, she was at the African American Museum. The new one they got.
Yeah.
She said when she was at the hip hop exhibit, Fab Five Freddy, Busy B, both of them were sitting in the audience with her. They're like the hosters of the hip hop section of that.
Right. Wow.
Dope.
I think Busy B lives in Baltimore, I think.
Busy B. Spoonie.
And I'm running things.
What else?
Yo, I used to love that song. That's how old I am. Like Busy B, like back then, Busy B, my boy, back in the 80s, living in DC, you didn't hear a lot of hip hop. So my boy Eric, his dad lived down here, and he lived in Connecticut. So he would bring me Red Alert tapes and Mr. Matic tapes.
Shit.
And it's crazy because we would dub them. My boy's mother worked at the Census Bureau, and they would have these white generic tapes that they would just throw away. Like, we had boxes and boxes of these white generic cassette tapes, and we would just dub, the Mr. Magic joints and Red Alert joints, and just,
You'd stuff them with tissue, or were they recordable?
They were pretty durable. Like, I had it for years. I had those tapes for years until I couldn't pay my storage bill, and they, somebody probably threw them away.
Damn. Shit. Hey, let me ask you this: does Nicki Minaj does she have an opportunity to get back to where she was at, or do you see her declining even more, and why?
Nah, I see her coming back. I heard the new song where she's actually rapping, and I think it's called Chun-Li.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
It doesn't sound bad. And the beat doesn't sound bad. So I don't see Nicki Minaj going anywhere anytime soon.
I've always said that Nicki did a lot of gimmicky shit, and I said at the end of the day, she's gonna have the bars to pull out of her back pocket when situation starts getting to where she's not as sought after anymore. And I think this is her chance really to start just spitting bars, and I think she has an opportunity in the lane to do so. So I hope she does, man, because she can spit. I've heard on some raunchy shit. So I just hope she can. I think there's room for both of them. But Cardi,
there's definitely room for both. But as far as being lyrical, she's not gonna surpass Remy as far as being current and lyrical.
Right.
To me, that's just my opinion.
I like Remy. I like her bars. She doesn't have the star. I'm gonna say the star power. Like, I can't explain.
I have to disagree with that one. I think she does. I just think she's not on a major label. She's independent.
Right.
So she's not going to get the same looks Cardi and Nicki get.
Okay.
But I think you put her on the same platform, she's out of there. Look at her when she was on the major label, when she had the Scott. What was the Scott Storch joint that she did?
Lean Back.
I told her solo album.
I'm
Used to. Yeah. Like that was a hit.
It was. I forgot all about that.
That was a fucking hit. And the songs that wasn't released, like she had a song with Neo that was a class that to me could have been a classic over a banging sample. Like it all, like anybody, like you could put I'm trying to think of a underground artist. Give me an underground artist. Nate, give me any underground artist.
Rhapsody.
Besides her, she.
Let's go with
Jean Grey.
Fishon.
You put Jean Grey on the same level playing field as Cardi B and Nicki.
Shit, 3D Nati. Shit.
Yeah.
Out of there.
3D Nati. That girl right there is amazing.
Yes, I agree. I mean, it's all about these days. It's all about exposure.
Yeah.
Like me, us three, we can appreciate Jean Grey and Rhapsody and any other male or female underground artists.
Yep.
But when the masses hit, that's when you know that they're on to something.
Right. And I say, my thing would be to, these underground artists, as far as like not getting any new fans because they're not presented to you're not playing to the masses. So that's my concern with it. Radio can eat one. I just, I want those people with the same opportunity to let their creativity be heard, so they can gain new fans. Whereas with certain underground shit, you gotta really go. You gotta be a fan. You gotta go look for the shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not
right. You have to get email updates when they put a new album out.
Right. Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel you. Like I bet if you ask probably 80% of underground rappers would probably want their stuff heard on the radio, as anybody else. I would love to hear, some dirty old man stuff on the radio.
No doubt. Right.
Like, I think that the radio is still the apex for a lot of people. It's validation.
Right.
It's not validation to me, but I can see where it's validation to, because I didn't grow up as an artist. I didn't grow up wanting to be in the limelight as an artist. So I have a different thinking than somebody as an artist. So an artist's apex is probably to be on the radio, win a Grammy, make some money. And I mean, you really can't knock that, no matter how trash you think they are.
Right. I had a couple things. I heard that there was an interview. I think it was either Ebro or somebody. They were talking about these internet, basically the YouTube bloggers, and they were saying that Ebro was saying that the radio still gets more to the masses than, say, somebody on a YouTube format or iTunes or a Sirius radio type thing. Do you agree with that? Do you think that that radio still basically holds that the population, or do you think that tides have shifted?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just go out and drive around. Like, people are still listening. That's Migos is big because of the radio. They're not big because a blogger posted their music on nowright.com.
Okay.
Like the radio is huge in all of these people's careers. Nicki, Cardi B, Migos. The radio is huge. So when people see that, when people hear Migos, 7 times an hour, that's the goal. That's the goal.
That ain't no lie neither. That ain't no lie. Good point.
Yeah, I think I was driving for Lyft today, and I play the radio because I know people don't want to hear what I listen to. I heard Stir Fry and the other Migos songs. Shit, at least 8 times within a 3-hour period.
Man, oh, that would just I'll go. Man, that's.
And I mean, those when radio stations are gonna have to take a chance on a no-name artist.
Right, go breaking records again. Jesus.
Yeah. Yes, they'll have to go to breaking records again.
Miss that shit. I miss that shit, man.
But we don't know what go behind the scenes of breaking records. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what goes into it exactly.
I say that with the air quotes. Indies don't have the deep pockets to pay radio promotion guys.
Right. Which are fucking out of this world.
Yeah. But I mean, in 10 years, terrestrial radio will look a lot different, just like TV. Like, who watches CBS and ABC and NBC like exclusively anymore? Nobody.
I don't know the channel is on. Barely watch.
That's because everybody getting their news from social media. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and there are other options. Just like with radio, like you couldn't pay me to purchase an ad on radio because I mean, what's the point?
Right.
Like, but hearing your music played on the radio across the nation is big.
Right.
But again, in 10 years, that's going to look very different because there's other mediums. Cars right now come with Sirius XM, or they might come with some Spotify. So I mean, when they start doing the cars with built-in Spotify, I mean, radio stations can pretty much, you know,
pack it up.
I mean, it's time to start looking for another profession if you're in radio.
What's this whole iHeart thing? Is iHeart Radio actually done, or because I'm hearing it was?
No, I mean they got maybe 10 to 15 years. 10 to 15 years, and it's the platform is going to be totally different. The only thing that may be around is sports radio, because people are always going to want to vent about their sports team,
right.
You know, and curse the quarterback out for fucking up, for throwing an interception. And I mean, sports radio is the only animal that's going to survive the radio war.
Right, no doubt. Well, Gadget, thank you for coming on, my brother.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you having me. I appreciate being the inaugural person.
We appreciate you, bro.
No doubt. And thanks for all you do for the culture, man. And you know what I'm saying? I really mean that sincerely, man. Thank you.
Hey, I appreciate it.
No doubt.
I appreciate. One more thing. And you just reminded me when you said for the culture. People have taken this for the culture for granted. I've heard like I was listening to a commercial radio station and they saying we do this for the culture.
Right.
I'm just, what culture are y'all doing it for? What are you talking about?
Please tell me.
You're not doing it for the hip hop culture.
Yeah. Shit.
So I think even the definition of for the culture has changed.
Yeah.
But that's a whole different part. We can talk about that on Talk That Stuff or whatever.
No. Hey, so all right, that's gonna wrap it up. I'd like to thank Anthony Gadget Mims.
Yes, sir.
I'm DJ Widebody.
I'm CS the producer.
And this was Master Channel. Join us next time when we have more guests, more questions, and everything else involved. See you next time.
Please.
Salute.